Hello, everyone, and welcome to this exciting occasion where I am interviewing the one and only Cavan Mahony. Welcome, Cavan.
Thank you so much. Very excited to be here.
Oh, and we're here to talk about a beautiful book that you have written called Clara and the Magic Circles. Can you hold it up for us to see?
Yes, this is it.
Oh, it's so beautiful, isn't it? Just divine. So I have, well, we've been, over a year now, we've been in the process of this beautiful book, making it come together, and it is so magical. And I remember our first conversation, and we were talking about these words coming to life and things like that. And it was just such a beautiful conversation. And I just wanted to ask you, what inspired you to write Clara and the Magic Circles?
So I have been talking and wanting to write a book for many, many years. And I just really didn't have the self-confidence or even felt I had the time to sit down and start writing. Um, this idea about Clara is a letter to my 8-year-old self about something we went through as a family and the tools that I wish I would have had in order to understand it and get through it. I was very lucky that I had a lot of encouragement from some close friends to help me do that. So then when the pandemic started, I just thought it's now or never. And once I started writing, I couldn't stop.
Isn't it? It's like this beautiful thing that just overcomes you, and the call is so loud and you have to answer, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah. What are your hopes for this story, Cavan?
So my deep hope and dream is that I am able to reach as many children as possible and to inspire them to believe really in their own inner hero and to understand that you as a person, whether you're a child or an adult, you are enough. It is not about your family, your friends, your circumstances. It's everything within you that gives you the ability to create your own reality and be your own best friend and fan, basically.
We all have a Clara within us, don't we?
Yes.
Waiting to be discovered. Beautiful. Can you share a little about your illustration process? One of the things that I absolutely admired about you is your vision for the book was so strong, and that comes from someone who's a visionary. So I absolutely adore that, and I think a lot of people can learn a lot from that about honoring the vision that you have for your story.
Well, first of all, I have to thank you for that because you were very open and kind to say, please do look for your vision and look for an illustrator that resonates with you, even though you have so many wonderful illustrators that you work with. I had a very strong vision of this feeling and looking like an old-fashioned fairy tale, magical, enchanting, yet still a very modern message and a modern story. So I was very lucky to find my illustrator, Leslie Buckingham, through the internet, through her agency, and very lucky she had the time and the desire to illustrate the book.
It was absolutely a time and circumstance aligning thing, because Leslie would really never have time in her schedule to take on another book. Like, she's so sought after. And I was like, oh my goodness, you got her. I was like, this is just divine timing. It was so good. And she was perfect, and she was so in tune with the story as well. She was so connected to it and had a vision as well. And the two of you together, to just watch that happening, to make it come together and be what it is now, it's just kind of an amazing journey, isn't it?
Incredible. And it is so incredibly exciting and fulfilling to work with other artists and creatives.
Yeah, I'm sure you have learned so much, so much on the journey, Cavan. It's like an entrepreneurial journey, the journey of writing and publishing a book, because it's a journey of self-discovery, and with that comes ups and downs and anticipation and excitement, and all different kinds of things happen. So you've absolutely honored it for sure. And I just want to say, so you had such a strong vision for your book. Are you happy with the result?
I am so thrilled with the result. And again, first of all, without you, it wouldn't be out there in the world. So I'm so incredibly grateful for that. And also, I feel that you really do take a chance on new authors and try to nurture and inspire new authors, which is quite a special thing. And I do feel like I've gone to school in the world of publishing. It is very exciting, can be very frustrating. And it's really exciting to learn something new.
Yeah, it is. And whenever you're passionate about it, and these are our book babies, we are nurturing them to fruition. But I just adore, and it's such a privilege for me to be part of the process with authors, to making it happen, because I know that if I wasn't there, it would never probably happen that way, to get it out into the world. So it's amazing, and I cannot wait to see what you're doing next. Is there going to be a next, Kevin?
Absolutely, yes. The next book, Clara,
Yes.
will be a few years older and a bigger, longer adventure.
Oh, see, so that's girls can grow up with her.
Yes, yes. And
Oh,
by
beautiful.
the end of the book, she's just stepping into her own superhero. So it will be fun to see where she takes that one.
It will, absolutely. And that's the thing. You may not know how that's going, until you sit down and write it, isn't it? As the author, it's as much a surprise for you as it is for the reader, and because you
Very
allow her to go on her journey. Beautiful. So, can you share some advice for aspiring authors?
One thing that was very helpful for me was working with the book The Artist's Way by Julie Cameron, which is exercises everyday journaling to get everything out of your head and onto paper. And also, again, to constantly remind yourself that you are good enough and you have something to say. It's very interesting. I've been an entrepreneur. I've had many different ventures, and I always felt more comfortable with the idea of starting something that was not actually writing. But whereas somebody might be afraid of starting a skincare product, you don't know. But at the end of the day, the only limitation is your fear, or your fear of judgment of others. And it's just not worth waiting, putting your life on hold, worrying about other people or your own fears.
Yeah. Isn't it one of those things? I was 31 when I started writing, and I was like, I wish I had done this like 20 years earlier or something. It's one of those things. But then, it's actually the right time, because you've accumulated so much to then gift on to the next generation through the books, isn't it? And that's what I think what you're doing. Well, I know what you're doing with Clara and the Magic Circles is, and I know you're going to read for us in a little moment, so that's wonderful. But and we don't want to give away all of the book. That's why we're not talking about the content, guys, and the journey that Clara goes on, because you have to go and grab your copy. And we are so excited to share that in Australia today, it was at number 15 on the Amazon charts, and in the UK today, it is at number 10 in the Amazon charts, which is amazing. So if you're on Facebook and you see the links, go and grab a copy and help Clara get to number 1, so that we can really and truly, share this best-selling book with the world. It's amazing.
Thank you.
So, can you share with us a nice reading, and then we'll finish off with who done your endorsement?
Yes, absolutely. Let's see. Okay, so just before I read, if I will say one of the main parts of this book, if you see on the cover, Clara meets magical Esmeralda in the forest. And Esmeralda has a bag of gems, and each gem she takes out, in order to create the magic, Clara puts her hand on her heart, and she has to think of the things that make her happy and that she's grateful for. And this is what sets off the magic. And that is what I've certainly found in my own life, that of course we all have a bad day, we get frustrated, but when you can shift your focus to what you are grateful for, then real magic happens in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she has just met Esmeralda. She's in the forest, and Esmeralda's speaking to her, asking her some questions. And Clara says to Esmeralda, "Oh, I'm afraid my parents lost their sparkle and their wit, and my father went to go look for it in a far away place and fell ill," choked Clara. "I try to feel better out here in our forest with Riley and Argus," those are her dogs, "amongst the trees instead of lonely at home." "Ah, I see," Esmeralda said. "Did you know that anything your heart desires, if you can imagine it, you can create it? I carry this bag with me for occasions such as these, when it's time for a great adventure. Clara studied Esmeralda for a moment and felt emotions welling up inside of her, sadness, anger, and frustration knotting together in her stomach. This is no time for a great adventure, Clara thought. Esmeralda reached into her velvet bag and pulled out a handful of the brightest, most sparkling stones Clara had ever seen. Every color imaginable: green, purple, blue and white, violet, amber, twinkled and shimmered. Clara wondered if she was imagining the faint, glowing circles that surrounded each of the gems. Riley and Argus barked and sniffed, wagging tails, sensing this was something very important. Now, Esmeralda said, you can pick 4 gems, one at a time, and each one will take us on an adventure to an enchanted land. Clara suddenly felt a fizz of excitement. Going to a magical place? Perhaps an adventure was just what she needed after all. Clara smiled for the first time in what felt like a long, long while. Clara was about to reach for a sparkling stone when Esmeralda explained, oh, did I mention sparkle and wit are the main ingredients for a birthday party? Perhaps the only sparkle and wit that you need is your own. So let's begin, shall we? Clara reached for the gem that calls you the most. Clara immediately picked out a giant green gem from Esmeralda's hand. Oh, that's wonderful, Clara. You have chosen the emerald, my namesake. The passage of the emerald will teach you about the nature of true friendship and also of hope and new beginnings. In order for this to work, you must do exactly as I say. Hold the emerald out in front of you with your left hand. Place your right hand on your heart. Close your eyes. Imagine all that makes you happy and that you appreciate it and feel it in your heart. Clara gripped the emerald and squeezed her eyes shut as she shouted out, Riley, Argus, birthday cake, lilies, the sound of the piano playing, the wind blowing in the trees, hugs and kisses from my parents, satin and silk dressing gowns, my teddy bear. Clara suddenly felt so happy she burst out, thank you, thank you, thank you. Esmeralda said, yes, you've done it, Clara. Now open your eyes to the passage of the emerald. Right there in front of Clara were 3 huge circular rings of green light, glowing and pulsating. The giant green circles cast a light so bright that all the forest surrounding took on the same electric emerald hue. And then the adventure begins.
Oh, I'm going to do the round of applause. We have some comments. Nancy is there. Hello, Nancy. She says, lovely. Emma Weaver says, wow, fantastic. And Holly, who's in Canada, says, oh, so excited I will catch this later. There we go. So can I share a little bit into the book for everyone just to have a little insight? Let me see if it's going to work for me this time. Can everyone see that? Can you see that, Kevin?
Don't see it up yet.
No? Is it not sharing? Let me just check. Oh, there we go. Chrome. There we go. You can see it now?
Yes.
This beautiful, beautiful book. This is our flip book, but we're going to give you a little insight inside. We're not going to share it all. There's a beautiful foreword from Sarah, the Duchess of York, which is so gorgeous. And the words that she shares here are so magical. Like Clara and the Magic Circles is a children's book that will enchant audiences of all ages, reminding us of our own heroic journey towards self-acceptance and self-love. Clara's message feels precisely the kind of advice we all need right now and are looking for, one step at a time or one paw print at a time. Isn't that beautiful? And I love this picture. Can you share a little bit about this picture, Kevin?
That is me when I was 6 years old, and that is one of my dogs named O'Larry. We had another one named McGilligan. So I just changed the names of the dog in my book, but yes, they were my best friends as a child.
Isn't that just so beautiful and magical? And of course, they are in the illustrations, and it's amazing. So this, I'm not going to give all away, but Clara and the Wolfhounds. And there's a beautiful illustration, isn't that? I love that illustration with the building behind and everything. This is just a beautiful book that I've sat with my 12-year-old and read, and my 10-year-old, and they just, and this is the illustration I wanted to get up to, but and the questions it brings up, the conversations, is just truly magical. It really is. I'm just going to stop sharing. There we are. We're back. So I know that this book is such a gift from you to children to read, because they can go and escape off and learn so much wisdom through Clara. But it's also a gift, for that gift of conversation that you have around the wisdom that's shared within the book. How does that make you feel?
That makes me feel so happy. And also, it's a conversation I can have with my mother, who's in her 80s. And if she doesn't necessarily believe in, let's say, the law of attraction or manifesting, what she certainly believes in is courage and resilience and finding your own strength. So there's many layers to this story, which I hope people will be able to relate to and discover.
Absolutely. And also when a young girl picks it up, say at age 6, when she reads it again at age 12, she's going to see deeper into the story and read it from a different level. That's what I love about this, is the layers in there, and that the book actually grows with the reader. So huge congratulations to you for managing that. But let's it's released into the world now. Let's let everyone know about it, and let's share it with the world. We need to tell the way that books get out there is by sharing the stories, as in, if you enjoyed this book, you tell someone just how beautiful it is, because word of mouth and community is how books and get into the hands and hearts and minds of readers.
That would be wonderful. And thank you so much. And thank you for this interview.
It's my absolute pleasure. Michelle Wietering has said, a gorgeous forward, and my goodness, I love the childhood photo with precious pooch. And what a stunning book. Courage and resilience is what the world needs. Huge, warm congratulations.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle. Michelle is a fellow MMH Press author, Cavan, and also the timing, the timing of your book coming out into the world when we need these types of books and these stories to come and nurture us, and even a bit of escapism out of lockdowns and things like that. It's just bringing magic back into our lives. So thank you so much for joining me today for this interview. I'm sure everyone has loved getting to know you more. Is there anything you want to share with anyone before we finish up?
Well, again, so much thank you to you. And also, each one of us has something that we are dying to do or to show or to be our best selves. And it really, really is possible, just one step at a time.
Words of wisdom. Amazing. Cavan, thank you so much. I look forward to watching the journey that this book goes on. And thank you so much for showing up and sharing it with the world.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for watching. Bye.
Bye.